There's a truth we all quietly fear, but desperately need to hear. No one is coming to save you. Not a mentor, not a partner, not some miraculous stroke of luck, not the perfect job, the perfect timing, or the perfect version of you that shows up without struggle. It sounds harsh, but it is the most liberating truth you will ever accept. Because the moment you stop waiting, the moment you stop hoping that someone or something will deliver you from your doubts, your pain, your limitations, you begin to build yourself. Most people wander through life waiting for motivation, waiting for clarity, waiting for a break. But greatness doesn't wait. Excellence doesn't knock politely. Discipline doesn't show up because you hope for it. This podcast is not about despair. It's about awakening. It's about reclaiming what the world has subtly taught you to outsource. Your strength, your responsibility, your transformation. You are not a passive character in your life story. You are the author, the builder, and the warrior who must forge the path. There is no map. There is only movement. And movement begins the moment you accept this. You are the one you've been waiting for. In the minutes ahead, we'll dive deep, philosophically and psychologically, into the process of becoming. Not with hype, not with easy answers, but with a hard-won truth. Everything you admire, everything you crave, everything you want to become, it is not gifted. It is earned, built, and embodied. And it starts now. From the time we are young, we're fed a silent lie. That someone is coming. Someone will notice our potential. Someone will fix the mess. Someone will pull us from the pit when life gets too heavy to bear. This belief, this myth of rescue, is seductive. It whispers comfort into our ear. Just wait a little longer. Help is on the way. It gives us permission to stall, to pause, to sit back and hope that destiny will arrive like a train running on schedule. But it never does. This myth is not innocent. It is paralyzing. It traps people in spiritual infancy. They become experts at dreaming, but amateurs at doing. They study inspiration, but never confront their apathy. They wait for the right mood, the right energy, the right phase of life, and waiting becomes their lifestyle. They drown not from failure, but from delay. Philosophically, this myth is rooted in externalism, the belief that change and meaning originate outside the self, that we are essentially passengers, that fate has the final say. But the truth, the freeing, terrifying truth, is that you are not a passenger. You are the driver, and you are steering, whether you admit it or not. Psychologically, we cling to the rescue myth because it removes responsibility. It gives us someone else to blame when the breakthrough doesn't come. It keeps the ego intact while the life rots beneath it. We want to be saved because it's easier than saving ourselves. But ease is not the path to greatness. Ease is how people fade. You weren't built to wait. You were built to build. So if you find yourself wishing someone would just show up and fix it all, pause. Not to punish yourself, but to wake up. There is no cavalry, no arrival, no external force that will suddenly grant you the life you know is possible. There is only this moment, this choice, this decision to step forward, because the rescue isn't coming, but the builder is, and that builder is you. Responsibility is a word most people fear. It sounds like pressure. It sounds like weight. But it is neither a punishment nor a prison. Responsibility is power, cloaked in discomfort. When you accept full responsibility for your life, your thoughts, your habits, your outcomes, you unlock a truth that few dare to live. You are not at the mercy of life. You are the maker of it. This isn't about blame. It's not about fault. It's about ownership. Philosophically, this idea finds its roots in Stoicism and existentialism alike. The Stoics believe that we may not control external events, but we are always responsible for our response, our character, and our discipline. Existentialists took it further. You are responsible not only for how you act, but for what you become. That means no more outsourcing your growth. No more pointing to your past, your parents, your partner, your pain. Yes, they shaped you, but they do not define you. Not anymore. Responsibility is terrifying because it eliminates excuses. You can no longer say, I can't. You can only say, I won't. But here's the paradox. What feels like a burden at first becomes a foundation of your freedom. Psychologically, agency, your sense of control over your life, is the root of mental resilience. Those who believe they shape their lives are less anxious, more motivated, and infinitely more capable. Responsibility doesn't restrict you. It awakens you. It tells you, if you are unhappy, you can change. If you are undisciplined, you can train. If you are lost, you can start walking, not because it's easy, but because you have that power. And once you see yourself as the builder, not the victim, not the passenger, not the spectator, you no longer fear responsibility. You welcome it, because that weight on your shoulders, it's not holding you down. It's making you stronger. So carry it, not because you have to, but because it's yours. And no one is coming to carry it for you. Once you shed the illusion of rescue and embrace the weight of responsibility, something changes. You realize you're not just living, you are building. You are the raw material and the architect, the sculptor and the stone, the planner and the worker. There is no version of you waiting somewhere in the distance. There's only what you create with your hands, your mind, your actions, day by day, thought by thought. This is the truth behind every life of greatness. It is constructed, not discovered. Philosophically, this echoes the teachings of Stoic self-mastery and existential choice. The Stoics believe that we become virtuous, strong, wise, and excellent by deliberate effort. Existentialists said that we are not born with essence. We create it through what we do. In other words, you are not born complete. You are born capable. The process of self-construction begins with a decision, the decision to live deliberately, to choose structure over chaos, to pick action over apathy, to build even when it's boring, painful, or unrewarding in the moment. Psychologically, this is the path of identity formation. Every behavior you repeat is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. Every small action, the way you speak to yourself, how you spend your mornings, how you react to setbacks, lays a brick in the foundation of your future. But construction is not easy. It is resistance every day. And here's the catch. That resistance is the point. You grow not in spite of resistance, but through it. Your mind strengthens when you don't feel like showing up, but you do anyway. Your willpower sharpens when you stay focused despite chaos. Your character deepens when you rise even after failure. This process of building isn't glamorous. There is no applause, no cheering crowd, no instant reward. There's only the daily decision to pick up the hammer again, and again, and again. Why? Because every strike shapes you. Every disciplined moment makes you clearer, sharper, more real. It is not motivation that makes you. It is not talent. It is not inspiration. It is discipline, the quiet force that connects your present actions to your future self. The life you want isn't hiding. It's waiting to be built, with focus, with structure, with relentless repetition. So stop fantasizing about who you could be and start laying bricks, one small, precise, intentional action at a time. You are not born great, but you are born to build greatness. And the sooner you pick up the tools, the sooner you'll become what you were meant to be. Every structure that stands for decades, even centuries, begins with something the eye can't see, a foundation. In your life, that foundation is called integrity, not morality, not reputation. Integrity is internal alignment. When your actions, values, and beliefs move as one, it is a silent force beneath the surface of every truly strong human being. You can fake charisma. You can mimic discipline. You can wear the mask of success. But if you build without integrity, you are building on sand. Philosophically, integrity is the soul's commitment to coherence. The Stoics taught that virtue is the only true good, and that living in accordance with your values is what gives life meaning. Not wealth, not status, not applause. Psychologically, we are wired to crave this alignment. When we live out of sync with our core beliefs, we fracture inside. This is called cognitive dissonance, the mental stress of living in contradiction. And over time, that dissonance erodes motivation, self-respect, and even mental clarity. You want to know why some people never reach their potential? It's not because they're lazy. It's because they're dishonest with themselves. They say they want growth but choose comfort. They speak about discipline but live in distraction. They promise change, then repeat yesterday. Without integrity, your efforts will collapse. Because the moment things get hard, and they will, your lives will offer you the easiest way out. But when you build a life on truth, truth in effort, truth in identity, truth in intention, you become unshakable. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to perform. You just live in alignment. That's what gives your words weight. That's what gives your path strength. It's not what people see. It's what you know privately about who you are when no one is watching. So ask yourself, are you building something that will last or something that will crumble at the first sign of pressure? Because without integrity, nothing you build will endure. And with it, nothing can bring you down. There are three forces that shape every strong, grounded, and exceptional human being. Three experiences that refine the soul, sharpen the mind, and build the kind of character that doesn't bend under pressure. Pain, solitude, discipline, together, they are the holy trinity of self-mastery. Pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It exposes where you are weak. It confronts your illusions. It demands that you either evolve or stay broken. Philosophically, pain has always been a catalyst for growth. From the Stoics to modern psychology, suffering is seen not as a curse, but a forge. It burns away the unnecessary, the arrogant, the fragile. It leaves behind something purer, if you're willing to face it. Psychologically, pain activates your deepest fears, but also awakens your deepest strength. When you survive what you thought would break you, you are no longer the same. You are stronger, wiser, clearer. Pain doesn't define you, but it reveals you. Solitude. Solitude is the space where clarity is born. Most people fear being alone because they fear what they'll hear when the noise stops. But solitude isn't loneliness. Solitude is sacred space, where distraction fades and truth rises. In solitude, you meet yourself without filters. You confront what you've avoided. You ask questions most people drown in entertainment to escape. Psychologically, solitude is where the subconscious becomes conscious. You begin to notice your patterns, your fears, your excuses, and your untapped strength. Without solitude, you will always echo the world. With it, you begin to develop a voice that is your own. Every blueprint for greatness begins in stillness, not in crowds, not in noise, but in solitude. That's where you decide what to build and why. Discipline. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you could become. It is the practice of doing what is required, not what is convenient. It is the daily, unglamorous commitment to becoming more, even when no one notices. Without discipline, your ideas rot into regrets. Without discipline, your potential dies in theory. Discipline doesn't shout. It shows up over and over until your actions become identity. Psychologically, discipline rewires your brain. It replaces impulsiveness with purpose. It transforms chaos into order. It is the quiet force behind every extraordinary life. Pain humbles you. Solitude reveals you. Discipline transforms you. And together, they forge a human being that is not just successful, but sovereign. So do not avoid pain. Do not fear being alone. Do not resent discipline. Welcome them as the sacred tools of your transformation. Because if you truly want to build yourself, these three must become your companions. Greatness is not a moment. It's not a title. It's not a prize handed out to the few who get lucky or born into it. Greatness is a lifestyle. It is the quiet, often unseen rhythm of someone who chooses to rise, build, and live with intention every single day. It doesn't require wealth. It doesn't require fame. It doesn't even require recognition. But it does require everything else. Effort, honesty, consistency, courage, a commitment to live as if what you do matters, because it does. Philosophically, a life of greatness is one in pursuit of excellence, what the Greeks called eurity, the full realization of one's potential through virtue, action, and purpose. It is not about being better than others. It's about being better than your past self. Not once, but constantly. It is a lifestyle marked by discipline over ease, structure over chaos, integrity over impulse, Psychologically, the pursuit of greatness activates what is highest in the human mind: purpose, clarity, and momentum. When you live with excellence as your standard, your choices sharpen. You no longer tolerate what weakens you. You no longer seek distraction. You start to move with an internal compass that others may not see, but you feel it guiding every step. This lifestyle is not glamorous, because it's not about display. It's personal. It's in the way you wake up. It's in the way you treat others. It's in the effort no one else sees, the standards no one else sets, and the hunger no one else understands. A lifestyle of greatness means choosing long-term meaning over short-term pleasure. It means sacrificing what is easy for what is necessary. It means walking alone, misunderstood, and uncelebrated, until your result become undeniable. But most importantly, it means never settling. Not because you're never satisfied, but because you are always becoming. Your work, your body, your thoughts, your presence, all of it becomes a canvas. And with every action, you shape that canvas with excellence, intention, and strength. So stop chasing greatness like it's out there. Start living it like it's right here. In every choice, every breath, every morning that begins with purpose. Because greatness is not a peak you reach. It is a path you walk. This is the moment, not tomorrow, not when things calm down. Now, you've heard the message. You've seen the mirror. You know the truth. No one is coming. No mentor will hand you your future. No circumstance will magically align. No inner spark will suddenly burst into permanent motivation. That fantasy of rescue, of luck, of timing is over. And that's not something to mourn. That's something to celebrate. Because now everything is clear. Now the weight is yours, and so is the power. It's your thoughts that will determine your direction. It's your habits that will carve your path. It's your decisions, stacked one on top of the other, that will shape the life you live and the person you become. And yes, that's a burden, but it's also a gift. It means you don't need to beg for permission. You don't have to wait for approval. You don't need perfect circumstances. You are free to begin. You are the hero, the architect, the warrior, and every excuse you've told yourself, every limitation you've accepted, is now a choice, nothing more. Philosophically, this is radical ownership. The idea that freedom doesn't come from being saved, but from choosing to take command of your mind, your time, your energy, your standards. Psychologically, this is a moment when passive identity dies and active identity begins, where you stop saying, "I am this way," and start asking, "Who must I become?" This is where the waiting ends. This is where the work begins. Not out of fear, not out of desperation, but out of a fierce, grounded conviction that your life matters, and you refuse to waste it sleepwalking. You want clarity? Move. You want confidence? Build. Do you want peace? Earn it. Through discipline, through integrity, through action. The decision is simple, even if it isn't easy. You either wait or you rise. You either wish or you build. So breathe in this moment. Let go of the stories. Let go of the rescue myth. Let go of the comfort that has cost you so much. And then take the first step. Today, now, with whatever you have. You don't need everything to begin. You only need yourself. Because no one is coming. But someone can rise. And that someone is you